Well, the Halos dropped 2-3 to the Atlanta Braves over the weekend. They start anew here in Cleveland, Ohio. Progressive Field is a sign of Game 1 of a 4-game series against the Cleveland Indians. Hi, everybody. From inside Progressive Field, we welcome you back to Angels Baseball here on Fox Sports West, along with Mark Gubiza. I'm Victor Rojas. And tonight we got a couple of right-handers on the mound. The veteran Jared Weaver on the hill going for the Angels. Trevor Bauer, the youngster, on the hill for the Cleveland.
Yeah, a little different ways they go about trying to do their business. Trevor Bauer is a guy that throws a lot of pitches before he even starts to warm up. Good fastball, though. Can rush it up there in the mid to upper 90s. And then Weaver's a guy who's throwing extremely well here in Cleveland, 6-0 in the area below 2. So look for it to be a very special matchup.
Well, that's what the Angels are hoping for. They can get going out on the road. They have struggled since sweeping the Philadelphia Phillies away from the Big A. Just about ready for baseball here in Cleveland. Sit back and relax. Lineups at first pitch when we return.
Angels baseball is brought to you by CarMax. Start the search for your next car at CarMax. By AT&T UVerse TV. Rethink possible. By Jack in the Box and the new Jalapeno Rancher Barbecue Ultimate Cheeseburgers. And by Hyundai. Visit buyhyundai.com today.
Taking the field here to start off this 4-game series. The Angels trying to shake off the rust after losing 2 of 3 to the Atlanta Braves. This is the lineup that Mike Scioscia will run out there this evening. The Angels at 37-31, 4.5 back. In the West will have Cole Calhoun leading things off at right. Mike Trout at center. Albert Pujols at first. Josh Hamilton at left. David Freese jumps up to the 5-hole. He's at third base. Calvin Kendrick's had a rough month of June. He is at second base. Roland Vine is at DH. Chris Inett getting the start behind the plate. John McDonald will bat ninth and play shortstop for Eric Ibar, who is currently listed as day-to-day. As they take on the 23-year-old right-hander SoCal product, his name is Trevor Bauer.
Trevor Bauer, fastball 92-96, slider, cut fastball, curveball, changeup, split finger fastball. And the keys to being successful against Bauer, get ahead of the counts. When he's behind in the count, becomes a lot more hittable. And bottom of the order success, 7, 8, 9 to lineup against Bauer, 12 for 29 this season. So bottom part of the order, needs to get rolling, especially the middle part has been swinging the bat so well.
It is a warm and a muggy night here in Cleveland. This is the defense for the Indians. Behind Trevor Bauer, Brantley, Bourne, and Murphy from left to right. The infield consists of Chisholm, Hall, Cabrera, Kipnis, and Swisher with Kataris behind the plate.
And Brantley out in left field has a very good throwing on the outfield assist. Had a streak of 247 errorless games end back on April 2nd. No record. Rocky Calavito had that record of 212 games without an error. Brantley very good as far as charging the baseball and covers a lot of ground in left center and towards the left field line.
Angels with the loss last night find themselves at 17-17 out on the road this year. And I mentioned going to break, they've not won a road series since taking the 2-game set against the Philadelphia Phillies in May. The Cleveland Indians, on the other hand, have played very good baseball here at home. They're just off a 5-5 road trip, and they are an even 500 on the season, but they've won 9 straight here at Progressive Field, and they now sport a 21-11 record here in this ballpark. Bauer's one of those guys on the mound that's still completing his warm-up pitches. Unique as far as everything that he does in preparation for his starts, but he seems to have gotten a little bit better. Perhaps that's just a product of maturity coming into play.
And making some adjustments. A lot of long tossing before he even goes to the mound to get ready down to the bullpen before he even comes into the game mound. But he certainly has outstanding stuff. There's a reason why he was a first-round pick. Top 3 as far as picks in the majors a few seasons ago out of UCLA.
Tonight's first pitch being delivered by the UPS store. Cole Calhoun ready to lead things off. 258 average, 4 home runs, 10 runs batted in for Cole. Got into the game into the 9th inning last night as a pinch hitter. Gets a start tonight in right. The first one a little bit high. That is Joe West calling the balls and strikes tonight. Marty Foster at first, Rob Drake at second, and Alan Porter at third base. The umpiring crew for this 4-game series.
It's a veteran crew.
Yeah. Calhoun fouls it back. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike. First pitch at 7:07, 81 degrees, but slightly muggier. Now the Angels did get lucky being in Atlanta in the month of June as far as the humidity over the weekend there in Georgia. But you certainly feel it here. Threats of thunderstorms popping up. That's at least on the forecast for this week here in Cleveland. That one's inside. 2 balls and a strike. No rain today. It's turned out to be a nice early evening here as the clouds have kind of gone away. Great ballpark that is Progressive Field. 2-1 pitch upstairs. 3 balls, 1 strike.
Walks have always been an issue for Bauer, although just 12 walks this year in 34 innings. He can get wild. You have to be patient. Now force him into those fastball counts. You have better success against him.
Calhoun hits one out to center. Michael Bourne back a couple of steps. There's the first down of the ball game. So it'll bring up Trout. Trout 7 for 14 in this series against the Atlanta Braves. Using his average of 305, his 14 home runs, and his 14th last night was against Minor. 50 runs batted in now.
Victor, has his swing been consistent of late? Short, compact through the baseball, crushing the baseball.
First one caught the inside corner. First time the Angels have faced Trevor Bauer. None of these guys have any history with him at the major league level. Pulled foul. That one's off the screen. It's no balls and 2 strikes.
Faced him a number of times in spring training games and a lot of success against him. Patient at the plate. It was more difficult to deal with when he's ahead of the count, right like he is right now, 0-2 against Trout.
Breaking ball. And it's a ball and 2 strikes.
Well, you look at him from our angle right here, you can see exactly where he starts from his delivery. He's right on the very edge of the first base side of the pitching rubber. And a Tim Lincecum in where he drives towards the plate.
Would you call him a drop and drive guy?
Yeah, which is surprising. You know, he's not a real big guy, but it's a guy that uses his lower part of his body to be able to generate that very good arm action that he does have.
Off speed, and he went around. Joe Wist rings him up. Didn't even ask for the appeal. As Pujols steps to the play, we'll take a look at our Hyundai key to the game.
On this sad day around Major League Baseball, going to Sister Sledge, we are family, and the baseball family lose one of the greats in Tony Gwynn today. After losing Bob Welch just the other day, Mike Soch had to deal with that also. But as a baseball family, anytime you lose somebody as special as Tony Gwynn, everyone feels that and hopes for the best for his family.
Pujols pulls the first one down the line off the glove of Chisenhall, picks it up, fires to first, and throws it wildly. And Pujols will reach.
Tough play by Chisenhall, although that side of the infield, 21 errors so far this year. He's able to backhand it as he tries to get underneath the throw, sails it high, and dealing with the sun for Swisher at first base as Pujols gets an infield hit.
And Chisenhall with 9 errors. It's Dribble Cabrera with 12. Overall, the Cleveland Indians with 64 errors on the season. This is game number 71 for them. And it'll bring up Hamilton. Bauer from the stretch. Chases that high fastball. Josh hitting .351. 3 home runs. 14 runs batted in. Multi-hit game last night, going 2 for 4 with a couple of singles and a walk. One ball, one strike. Bauer coming off a loss against Kansas City. That was at Kauffman Stadium. His last 2 starts have been out on the road. Texas and in KC, a no decision and a loss. Gave him just 3 runs in 5 1/3 against the Royals. As that pitch, this is upstairs. 2 balls and a strike. Speaking of the Royals, they are red hot. Won 7 in a row. They'll face Justin Verlander tonight, starting the series with the Tigers. A game and a half back in the Central Division now. Cleveland starts tonight at 3.5 back of the Tigers. Just missed in. 3 balls, 1 strike. David Freese on deck.
When does 5.5 games separate first and last in the AL Central? Terry Francona's Indians have gotten hot, although they did have a little bit of a downtime before winning the last 2 up in Boston. Lost the first 2 there after losing 2 in a row to Kansas City.
3-1 pitch. Hamilton fouls it back, so full count. And Tigers continue to have issues as far as the back end of their bullpen. Justin Verlander has just been mere pedestrian so far this year. As is always the case with the American League Central. Seems to be wide open until the very end. Pujols will take off on the next pitch with a full count of 2 outs. Breaking ball, and he got Hamilton looking, and Josh knew it. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Bauer. We'll head to the bottom of the first, scoreless. Starting 9 for the Cleveland Indians with the 35-35 record. It'll be Michael Bourne leading things off and playing center field as Dribble Cabrera is short. Michael Brantley, 5th in the American League in batting average. He gets a start at left. Jason Kipnis, the cleanup hitter, at second. Carlos Santana, the DH. Lonnie Chisenhall at third. Nick Swisher at first. David Murphy at right. George Kataris rounds out that starting 9. He gets the starting 9 behind the plate. Taking on Jared Weaver, 7-5 record, a 3.51 ERA, but not quite the same guy over his last 3 starts, and that's going back to that 2-hit shutout of the Houston Astros.
Yeah, hopefully he gets back in tune. Certainly has always loved pitching here. Progressive Field, 6-0 with an ERA 1.64, but the keys for Weave tonight is get ahead of these patient hitters. They will work to count. Certainly a team that will chase once you get ahead, and better late in games. Later in the game, opponent's been hitting well over 300 from the 7th inning on to 75th pitch on against Weaver. Needs to be more efficient early on, getting some quick outs.
10 walks in those 4 starts since that shutout against the Astros. Facing the speedy Michael Bourne. First one tonight is in for a strike. Bourne hitting .264, 3 home runs, 21 runs batted in. David Freese playing in on the grass at third base. 0-2.
Well, you would think early on both pitchers getting a pitch into the sunlight as the hitters are in the shadows early on. You don't see this too often at a 7 o'clock start.
One ball, 2 strikes. The Cleveland team, as we pointed out, have played very well here at home of late. 5th in average, 8th in home runs, 4th in runs scored, 3rd in on-base percentage. 1-2. Bourne gets jammed and fights it foul, so the count remains at a ball and 2 strikes. Weaver coming off a loss against the Oakland A's on the 11th.
Always important to keep him off the base. He's a guy with a lot of speed himself.
Breaking ball. Missing away. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Very little breeze here at Progressive Field tonight, at least here in the early parts of the game. Off speed, fouled back.
Always like this ballpark, the skyline. Nice job as far as it's a beautiful baseball park where you always get those great views. Pretty good hitter's yard too.
A full count. There's the payoff pitch. Bourne shoots one out to right field. Leadoff man on board for Cleveland. The off-speed pitch. We'll take a look at the defense behind Jared Weaver tonight. Josh Hamilton at left, Mike Trout at center, Cole Calhoun at right. The infield consists of David Freese, John McDonald, Howie Kendrick, and Albert Pujols around from third to first with Chris Iannetta behind the plate.
You know, with Eric Ibar not available tonight, John McDonald, a very solid defender at shortstop. 432nd career start at shortstop there this season. 972 career fielding percentage for McDonald. Very good glove, quick as far as turning double plays also.
McDonald came into the game after Ibar was removed last night against the Braves. So leadoff man on board. 3 infielders on the right side with Dribble Cabrera at the plate. Freese playing in at third. Cabrera fouls it off the left. Second meeting of the year, second and last meeting of the year between these two teams. The Angels swept the Indians at the Big A earlier this year.
When you look at that swing, Victor, it looks like he's allowing the baseball to travel to utilize that part of the field which vacated with all the infielders. Only David Freese on that side, trying to beat the shift by staying back on the baseball.
Better average from the left side compared to the right side for Cabrera. 262 versus 236. Overall, 253 on the year. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. 6 home runs, 24 runs batted in. Indian shortstop. Pujols holding Bourne on at first base. He's got to deal with the sunshine as well. Bourne takes off. The pitch is driven out to left center field. Hit well. Trout's not going to get to it. He pulls up, and that one's off the top of the wall. Bourne will come in to score. They're calling out a home run. Third base umpire Alan Porter with the signal for a 2-run home run, and Mike Scioscia more than likely will come out.
Right on cue. And you can see his approach. That entire at bat for Cabrera. He was going to look to hit the ball that way with Michael Bourne running. Ends up scoring. It looked like that from our angle. Looked like it was out. Let the ball travel deeper. Fastball away. Stayed back on and hit that ball extremely well. And they will go in and check it out. Chief Joe West. Alan Porter, who made the call.
As it stands right now, it's a 2-run home run for Cabrera and a 2-0 lead for Cleveland. 7th of the year, 26 RBIs now. And the long ball's been prevalent against Jared Weaver this year, unfortunately.
I was going to say that 13th home run, potentially 9th by a left-handed batter.
This call stands. It'll be the 7th consecutive game in which Weaver's allowed a home run.
Well, the interesting thing, if it was not ruled a home run, where would they place Bourne? Because he was going on the pitch.
Bourne would have scored easily.
You would think.
No, we're just waiting word on the call. A bloop single by Bourne. And a 2-run shot by Asdrubal Cabrera. At least that's what Alan Porter made the call on out in left center field. Take a look at it again.
It's real hard to see.
Had a call here, I think it was last year. Oakland was in town. Call that clearly went against the Oakland A's. A ball that hit the railing above the fence. It came back into the field to play. And that was, of course, before replay. I believe Angel Hernandez was part of that. Made that call a non-home run call, so it went against Oakland. And it is a home run. So Cabrera does get credit for his 7th of the year. 26 runs batted in. And the Angels will play from behind here in the first inning. So nobody out, nobody on. Michael Brantley coming up.
Second career home run for Cabrera against Jared Weaver.
Michael Brantley, a .322 batting average. 11 home runs, 45 runs batted in. Swings to the first one, bounces it toward the middle, back in and bobbled by Howitt. Still throws out Brantley for round number 1.
I mean, Brantley's been red hot. AL Player of the Week with a .538 batting average.
So Weaver and the Angels get their first down here in the first inning. Jason Kipnis will come to the plate. Kipnis hitting .261. 7 doubles, 3 home runs. 21 runs batted in as the off-speed pitch misses upstairs. Good off-speed pitch there.
Curveball followed by a changeup.
This one shot to left. Hamilton's there. Makes the catch, 2 down. Jared picked up the win in his first start against Cleveland this year. In 5 1/3, gave up 2 runs on 8 hits, struck out 6, walked 1.
We talked about his career numbers here at Progressive Field, 6-0 with a 1.64, but since 2008, 5-0 with an ERA under 1 at 0.93. Two-run home run in the first inning by Cabrera gives the Indians a 2-0 lead here.
Game plan in the early going here through first 4 batters. Seems like the Indians want to jump on Weaver early. Santana looks at a strike, or at least early in the count if they get a pitch to drive.
It seems like they're looking away.
Breaking ball in there. That's 0-2. Santana switch hitting DH, 190 average, 8 home runs, 25 runs batted in. Takes outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Santana's gone 5 for 11 in the last 3 games against the Red Sox to raise that average to 190. Check swing. They want an appeal. Joe West does not oblige. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Santana 9 for 17 versus Weaver. See him really work counts against Weaver also.
And this one's pulled to right. Calhoun there. And he'll make the catch. So Weaver retires the next 3 guys, but a single by Bourne, a 2-run home run by Jubal Cabrera puts the Indians up 2-0. Well, we played on Tuesday night, July 15th, and tonight we're proud to announce the latest round of voting for the American League. Mike Trout trailing Jose Bautista. Trout with the 2.5 million votes. Jose Bautista 2.9. Saw Matt Wieters there at the bottom, and he is going to be out. I know he leads American League catchers, opting to have Tommy John surgery. Don't miss the Home Run Derby on ESPN Monday, July 14th. The All-Star Game only on Fox Tuesday night, July 15th, from Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Well, that's some serious power in that lineup right there so far for the American League as far as the votes. It'll be a lot of fun to face them if you're a National League pitcher.
Freese, Kendrick, and Ibanez for the Angels here in the second. David Freese looks at a fastball right down the pipe for a strike. Trevor Bauer with a couple of strikeouts in the first inning. David jumping up to the 5 spot. 218 average, a couple of home runs, 15 RBIs as he shoots this one to the alley in right center field. That'll get down for a base hit.
Boy, he's really working on his swing, talking with Dave Hansen, hitting coach for the Angels, about starting to get his hands back and through the baseball a little shorter and using a big part of the field. Better approach for Freese on this swing. Hanging breaking ball, a lot of times you'll pop that one up. Stay back, got his hands up, and then good part of the bat through the baseball in the right field. It's a good swing. Phantom Cam will show how he was able to get his hands up. So often you'll see a batter on an elevated breaking ball like that will pop it up. Excellent swing from Freese.
Howie Kendrick will look at the strike. Howie has struggled in the month of June, just a 176 average. 269 overall batting average, 3 home runs, 26 runs batted in. Still with 10 doubles, 3 triples. This was fouled off to the right. Matter of fact, Howie has 2 extra base hits since May 11th. That was against the Toronto Blue Jays, a game in which he had 2 doubles in.
Does have good numbers in his career versus Cleveland, though. 311 batting average. 3 home runs for Howie.
Leadoff single for Freese. He stands at first. Shot that one up to right field. Base hit. Freese will turn the corner and head to third. So back-to-back singles for the Angels here. And runners at the corners with nobody on, and Ibanez coming up.
Well, that's a swing you want to see from Howie, not trying to do too much. When he's on a hot streak, it's everything up the middle to right field. Starts to pull the baseball. That's when he becomes inconsistent. Good job as far as allowing that baseball to get deep in the zone. Hands inside out. Vanacam shows how smooth that swing was from Howie, be able to get his hands inside and then think in terms of right field.
Mentioned going the other way. His last extra base hit was the home run he hit in Oakland. That was a pull shot to left at the Coliseum. Ibanez takes inside. Raul hitting 146. 3 home runs, 21 runs batted in. Saw limited action over the weekend, of course, National League play. Got a pinch hit opportunity in all 3 games.
We're throwing a cut fastball underneath the hands of Raul Ibanez. An assortment of out pitches.
This one's popped up. Third base side, Chisenhall looks like he's got a play on it. And he does. 1 out.
For the Angels, hitting 8, the catcher number 17.
So it's up to Chris Iannetta to pick up Raul. Angels on the season, a 248 average with men in scoring position. Just 1 for 6 last night, even though they had 12 hits.
Heard you and Jose talk about on that pregame show, that situational hitting, to be able to get those runs across, so important, especially early in the game.
This one's driven out to left center field, a base hit, and more. Bourne tries to cut it off. It goes off his glove. Kendrick will be waved in. It's an RBI, 2 RBI double for Chris Iannetta that knots this game up at 2.
Just like that good situational hitting, a gapper for Chris Iannetta. His 9th double, now 20 RBI on the season.
Batting 9.
Well, he makes great contact on that. You talk about getting the good part of the bat and keeping the head back. Well, that's a great view on our Phantom Cam, how important it is as a hitter to keep your head back, not flying open. Similar as a pitcher, but same thing as a hitter. Head back and on the baseball and hit that ball in the gap, on the line.
Been seeing a lot of matchups for Mike Scioscia as far as the catchers are concerned. Conger got the start last night against the left-hander. Iannetta gets the start tonight against the right-hander. Chris delivers, 9th double, 20th RBI. John McDonald will bat here with 1 out. McDonald will look at the strike. John getting the start at shortstop for Eric Ibar. Eric wanted to start tonight, but keeping him out just for precautionary reasons.
Well, that's 36 RBI from the catching position for the Angels this year.
John McDonald asked for time at the last minute. And he's waving something away from his face. The midges are back. Jabba Chamberlain's favorite.
Jabba, oh, no doubt.
The Jabba midges. Big lead for Iannetta at second.
McDonald last night 1 for 2. Shows bunt. That one's outside.
Well, it's good to see the offense respond right back after a 2-run home run by Cabrera off of Weaver. Right away, Chris Iannetta ties it up with a 2-run double.
Nobody paying attention to Chris Iannetta. As a matter of fact, the Indians defense almost playing as if there's 2 outs in the inning. Iannetta's at least a third of the way to third base.
Gives him a great opportunity to get a secondary lead. Talking to D. Sarcina the other day, so important to be able to get his runners to get a good secondary lead and score on a single.
John McDonald did not pull the bat back. That's called a strike. It's 1-2.
As far as outfield arm strength, Brantley very accurate out in the outfield at left field. 8 outfield assists. Murphy, a good arm, 1 outfield assist. They will challenge Michael Bourne in center.
Breaking pitch out to shallow center field. Kipnis going out. Bourne coming in. It'll be Bourne making the catch. 2 down.
The hitter for the Angels, number 56, Cole.
So back to the top of the order we go. A 2-2 game here in the second. Cole Calhoun will bat. Cole for 1. Fly ball to Bourne to lead off the game. Cleveland striking for 2 in the first. Cabrera with a 2-run home run, his 7th of the year. Just tying it up. 2 RBI double by Chris Iannetta. One ball, no strikes. Really low set position for Trevor Bauer. Below the belt.
Generally, when you see that, Victor, that means his times to the plate are not going to be real fast. You can steal a base against him. In his career, 14 of 16 as far as successful stolen bases against him.
Drops the off-speed pitch in there. 1-1.
Well, for him, the reason why he has the hands that low allows him to gather and utilize that lower part of his body and drives towards the plate.
It's a lot of moving parts in that windup for Trevor Bauer. Two balls, 1 strike.
He had a great career at UCLA. Very great, solid career at Hart High School in Santa Clarita, where Todd Zeal went, James Shields. Garrett Cole, Trevor Bauer, teammates, top 3 in the 2011 draft.
This one's pulled down the right field line. Hooks foul. Just down in front of it. Iannetta will head back to second, and Cole back to the batter's box. 2 ball, 2 strike count. If I remember correctly, Garrett Cole was a 1st-round pick of the Yankees out of high school. Spurned them. It was a late 1st-round pick, 28, 29, right around there. Ended up going to UCLA. Guess that's raising your draft stock. This one's bounced to the right side. Swisher has it. He'll feed Bauer, and Bauer wins the foot race. But the Angels tie things up. Chris Iannetta, 2 RBIs, double as we hit to the bottom of the second, down to 2.
We'll bring you the AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo using hashtag WestFanPhoto, and it could be shown in an upcoming game broadcast. Light crowd here in Cleveland, but as always, the Angels seem to travel pretty well as far as their fans are concerned.
Being a perfect day here. A little warmer than it has been here in Cleveland the last few days.
Chisenhall, Swisher, and Murphy for Cleveland here in the second. Chisenhall takes inside. 371 average. 7 home runs, 32 runs batted in. It was a week ago tonight. Chisenhall did a 3-homer game against the Texas Rangers. 9 runs batted in. He's gone 0 for his last 10. This one's pulled to the right side. Pujols has it on 1 hop. 1 down.
Look what Albert did right away. Told Weaver that he had to play. He's taking himself. Take away that flip over to a first baseman out of the equation. And taking yourself always better as a first baseman. And the communication between Weaver and Pujols is always very good. It'll allow Pujols to play deeper. First, more coverage like we saw in that play. Weaver having that slow roller to the right side of the infield covered for him.
There's Nick Swisher. He drives one out to center. Trout back a couple of steps. Puts it away for out number 2. Swisher just recently off the disabled list with the hyperextended knee. And his first start at first base since that. So 2 outs. David Murphy coming up. That's 5 in a row retired by Weaver since the home run to Cabrera. Murphy signing with the Cleveland Indians in the offseason after spending his entire big league career with the Texas Rangers. Hitting .274, 5 home runs, 37 runs batted in. One ball, 1 strike.
Boy, a lot of career at bats against Weaver. 55 for Murphy. Weaver's done very well against him. It's 8 for 55.
This one grounded short. John McDonald has it. Weaver responds with a 1-2-3 second. 2 in the books. Tied at 2. Fans, follow every Angel game with MLB.com at bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replays, scores, stats, audio, free. MLB.tv, game of the day, and more. Download the app at the App Store. Or by logging on at angels.com today. 2, 3, and 4 for the Halos here in the third against Trevor Bauer. Trout, Pujols, and Hamilton. Frank Sinatra serenades Mike Trout on his way to the plate.
And why wouldn't he?
Silky smooth. Trout 0 for 1, a strikeout victim in the first. Bauer has 2 punch outs, both coming in the first inning. Trout swinging, Hamilton looking. Gave up 3 hits in the second. Back-to-back singles to Freese and Kendrick. Double by Iannetta.
It's a good swing at a 95-mile-an-hour fastball from Trout. I like that approach. Looking that first pitch fastball.
One ball, one strike. Swisher way off the line at first. Everyone else pretty much at normal positions on the infield. Bourne shading Trout the opposite way in center. Caught the inside corner. Trout doesn't like that call. It's 1-2.
Trout was 7 for 14 in that Atlanta series with 2 home runs and 5 RBI.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Angels rolled into town here in Cleveland early this morning. 3:45 to the hotel. And they did take batting practice today. Long night in Atlanta, long 2 nights in Atlanta, Saturday and Sunday. 2-2. It's a ground ball on the left side. Chisenhall has it go underneath his glove. Looked like that ball hit the cut of the grass and all of a sudden skidded on Chisenhall.
It's also a product of a third baseman knowing he has to be quick on the transfer to throw out. Trout going down the line.
Stepping in for Los Angeles.
Looked like he was looking up. And the ball stayed true and stayed down. Boy, just hug that ground.
Base hit for Trout.
Trevor Bauer was thinking he got Trout out on a ground ball. Instead, now he has to deal with that speed at first base with no outs. And Albert Pujols, who's been swinging the bat very well of late at the plate.
7 stolen bases for Mike. They'll check in on him. Albert 1 for 1, singled off the glove of Chisenhall in the first inning. Two-hit game for Albert last night, going 2 for 4. Also hit by a pitch. Albert not happy being hit by a pitch by Carpenter last night in the 9th inning. A lot of that had to do with Angel Campos, the home plate umpire, telling Albert not to get upset about getting hit by a pitch.
It's easy to say and done when you're getting hit by a mid-90s fastball.
Yeah. Trout started to go, and that pitch is up and in. 1-0 count.
It's a perfect scenario now for Albert Pujols. Now you have a pitcher trying to be quicker to the plate. Trout didn't exactly time Bauer well, but the focus is away from Pujols. That's what you want if you're Albert, and a focus on Trout.
Off speed, a swing and a miss. Evens up the count at 1-1. 5 hits for the Angels tonight. 4 singles and a double. Halos came at batting as a team 258, 6th in the American League. 3rd in runs scored.
Bauer with no career pickoffs yet, but he does have a quick move, as you can see. Good footwork.
Trout takes off. The pitch is up and in. The third out by Kataris is not in time. And it's stolen base number 8 for Trout.
Well, you want to see that more often from the Angels. Stealing some base, especially against Bauer. Times are not exactly quick to the plate. A big jump. Kataris a quick transfer and throw, but unable to get. Mike Trout now in scoring position for Pujols.
41st stolen base of the year as a team. Just the 6th in the month of June. It's a man in scoring position for Albert and a 2-ball, 1-strike count.
Well, a nice slide too, going to the back part of the base. A longer tag needed to be applied by Kipnis, and because of that, he was able to get Mike Trout able to get the hand in on the back part of the base.
Breaking pitch, swing and a miss. Evens up the count. Leadoff single by Trout, the stolen base. Nobody out here to third. Bauer taking a little too much time with Kataris behind the plate. And now they're going to talk things over.
Well, Albert of late, he's one of the batting average. Even power swings are coming back. He's starting to use his lower part of his body and using the bigger part of the field.
Two. Breaking pitch, chopped to the ground to short. Unable to advance. Trout. There's out number 1.
Bauer stayed off speed against Pujols to force him out in front. Ground ball to short does not allow Trout to advance to third.
Bauer with a couple of big hits in the Atlanta series with men in scoring position. Unable to come through here to third. Here's Josh Hamilton. 0 for 1. Struck out looking to end the first. Trout easily back at second base.
It's easy for a shortstop to put that daylight play on because you're playing almost straight behind him to begin with, so you're not giving up your position in the infield.
Breaking ball outside. Kind of the go-to pitch for Bauer when he's trying to get back into counts. That breaking ball's been pretty good for him.
Very similar to Tim Lincecum. Very good pitch, especially the way they drop and drive towards the plate, overhand delivery, changeups and curveballs to sell off the fastball.
1-1.
Especially good to see that delivery going towards home. You think a fastball's coming, all that motion, and drop a curveball or changeup in. Very difficult as a hitter to stay back.
Foul back. High fastball. It was 1-2. Trout takes off. The pitch is cut on and missed. Down goes Hamilton. So Trout picks up a stolen base. Hamilton strikes out on the breaking ball. 2 down.
Stolen base number 9 on the season now. And the breaking ball. Well, real close on that swing. But Joe West doesn't need the help. The third base brings him up. It's himself.
That's early, but the Angels are 1 for 6 with men in scoring position. Here's David Freese, 1 for 1. He singled the lead off the second inning, and yet another conversation now between Kocharis and Bauer. Watch out. A off speed pitch, missed upstairs. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Bauer picked up in a trade with the Diamondbacks prior to last year. It's a ground ball to short. Well, the Angels get a man in scoring position with nobody out and leave them stranded at third base. We will head to the bottom of the third, still tied at 2.
Of 5 tool players, a couple tools on display in Atlanta. Quick through the baseball, well out, home run, power, and then the glove, the speed coming in on the baseball makes an outstanding diving catch. Mike Trout, a fabulous player, showing his wheels today with a couple stolen bases along with a base hit.
Jared Weaver back to work here in the third. And a 2-2 tie. Trout unfortunately stranded at third base. I misspoke earlier. The Angels now are 1 for 6 after that ground out by Freese with men in scoring position. George Kocharis, Michael Bourne, and Asdrubal Cabrera for the Cleveland Indians. It's 9-1-2. Weaver's retired 6 straight since the home run by Asdrubal Cabrera in the first. Breaking ball's in for a strike. Kocharis playing in his 5th game since being called up from AAA Columbus. He's only 4 for 9 with 3 home runs and 4 RBIs in his first 4.
It's pretty good production from your hits.
Yeah,
4 hits, 3 home runs.
119 at AAA.
He didn't waste any at bats.
They throw more strikes here in the big leagues. And that one's downstairs. That's 2 balls and a strike. Native of Scarborough, Ontario, Canada. Chopper to the right side. John McDonald in the overshift has it. That's a 6-3 putout. 1 down. Hey folks, this Saturday catch a full night of MLB action beginning at 4 p.m. Pacific with Baseball Night in America on Fox as the Braves take on Bryce Harper and the Nationals. Then at 7 the Rangers take on Mike Trout and the Angels over on Fox Sports 1.
serious young talent on display there. Trout, Harper.
Here's Michael Bourne, single, bottom of the first. He'll look at the strike. Ground ball down the line, foul. This one's out to left, not hit very deep, and it's going to fall in for a base hit. So Bourne is 2 for 2.
Boy, both hits, a flare to left and a flare to right center field for Bourne.
And we've seen from Weaver at least one time through the order now as he's really stayed away with the off-speed stuff on the left-handed batters. Really haven't come in yet with that no-seam fastball.
He hasn't had good enough command for whatever reason this season with that no-seam fastball inside against left-handed batters. Trying to utilize the bigger part of the yard. He thought he did against Cabrera. He got that one out to left center field his last at bat.
Just over that 19-foot high wall in left. First one's outside. Looks like the Indians' game plan tonight was to look for something away. Out in front of the breaking ball. 69 miles per hour. Evens up the count at 1-1. Quick tag. Bourne was on the move when Cabrera hit the home run in the first inning. She figured be on the move again at some point. Two balls, one strike.
Certainly another one of those counts for Francona and the Indians to have some type of movement. 2-1 count. Anticipate a fastball here to Cabrera.
Two on pitch. Caught the inside corner. 2-2. Cabrera's batting average has been on the decline ever since he hit a career high 308 back in 09. 276, 273, 270, 242. This year currently at 253 at the start of the game. This one's pulled foul.
Well, that breaking ball at 68 miles an hour. Best fastball in the game for Weaver, 88. Slowest curveball at 66, 22 mile an hour differential for Weaver in this game. Again, velocity really not all that important for Weaver, but spotting his fastball definitely is. That's what's hurt him recently, is missing some fastballs out over the plate. When he spots his fastball well with his assortment of secondary pitches, very difficult to hit.
Just missed low with a changeup. So a full count. And now for sure, Bourne figure will be on the move. Michael Brantley on deck. Tied at 2 here in the bottom of the third. Bourne takes off. 3-2 is pulled foul. Way out in front.
But a hanging break ball, though. Frustrated. Weaver go back to the pitching rubber.
Bourne again takes off, and that's missed inside. So the first walk of the night for Weaver puts a couple of men on now for Brantley. One out here, the third. Brantley swung at the first pitch he saw in the first inning and grounded out to Kendrick.
He's grounded into 8 double plays. We would love to get one right now as that pitch count starts to move up.
Brantley's gotten much hotter. Started off the year hitting 245 through April. 345 in May. He's at 393 so far here in the month of June. First opportunity with a man in scoring position tonight for Cleveland as the first one misses inside. John Adams banging the drum out in left field. Doing that for a long time. 44 pitches thrown by Weaver so far, 27 strikes, no strikeouts, 1 walk, and 3 hits allowed. Over the breaking ball, that's 1-1.
So often you'll see Weaver back up his curveball with a changeup. Thought process of getting a hitter out in front, going to roll over a ground ball to Howie at second.
Bourne the base runner at second and Cabrera at first. 2 balls, 1 strike. It's a Cleveland team that has hit better against right-handed pitching than they have against lefties. 266 compared to 241 as a team. 15 points higher here at home than they have out on the road. 2-1 count. Downstairs, 3 balls, 1 strike.
Twenty pitches in the first, 20 already here in the third inning for Weaver, and a very quick, efficient, clean second inning with 7 pitches thrown. A couple ground ball outs and a fly out. 1 pitch out by Swisher.
Breaking pitch, lifted foul and out of play. I figure if you went to a curveball on a 3-1 count, you try to go through that changeup.
Something off speed.
Yeah. A little bit different look.
wouldn't think Michael Bourne would necessarily try to steal third on a 3-2 count, especially with a left-handed batter up a clear path for a throw for Iannetti to third base.
Runners take off. 3-2 is a base hit to right. It'll bring in one. Cabrera's on his way to third, and Cleveland's back on top. 3-2. Looked like he tried to go fastball in.
Went fastball in and ran out over the plate. Well, that seems to be the pitch we've seen from Weave lately. It has been hit pretty good. And that fastball runs too much of the plate on the inner half against a left-handed batter.
So Cleveland retakes the lead here on the RBI single by Brantley. 46th run batted in. Runners at the corners and one out. Here's Kipnis. Fly ball to shallow left, his first time up. Ground ball towards second. Should be two. Kendrick to McDonald for one. Relay back to first. Pujols digs it out for the double play. So Weaver throws the double play ball. Terry Francona is going to come out and perhaps have a conversation with Marty Foster at first base.
Going to make sure that the throw did beat Kipnis going down the line. He's going to look in.
No real argument from Sandy Alomar Jr., the first base coach.
On the throw.
Question is, did Kipnis even touch the base?
Looked like when he had that full last stretch, did he even get to the base? Very close. Terry Francona satisfied. The right call was made. Marty Foster.
Cleveland strikes for a run. We're through three now. Indians lead it by the score of 3-2. It's 3-2 Cleveland as we begin the top of the fourth inning. Tonight's game is being powered by Energy Upgrade California. Manage energy and help California stay golden. Just visit energyupgradeca.org. Halos here in the fourth inning. We'll have Kendrick Ibanez and Iannetti. Hamilton and Socha talking things over on the bench. Josh 0 for 2 tonight. Ground ball. First pitch swinging is Howie Kendrick. Jason Kipnis has it. One out. Howie 1 for 2 on the night, had a single with a run scored in the second. So since the leadoff single by Trout in the third. 4 batters in a row retired by Bauer. 3 ground ball outs and a punch out. And they'll bring up Ibanez, the DH. Popped out with runners at the corners in the second inning. Rule 0 for 1. .26 at-bats for Raul. 27 at-bats now for Raul in the month of June. 3 for 27.
Certainly in the count right now where he's got to look to do some damage. Extra base type swing here.
Bauer falls behind here. 3 balls, no strikes. And that on deck. Three and 1. The overshift on it. Bauer at least is pitching to the shift, trying to stay in on Ibanez. Full count.
At their 4-seam fastball, there's a cut fastball inside. And you're right, Victor. He's staying on the inner half.
Payoff pitch. That is ball 4. So he works the walk. Man on board, frying at him.
Batting for Los Angeles, number 17, Chris Iannetta.
Chris, a 2 RBI double in the second. At that point, tied the score up at 2. 9th double, now with 20 runs batted in. Pulls this one down the left field line. This one is off the top of the wall. It's a fair ball. Ibanez on his way to third. It's a long single for Chris Iannetta.
Boy, a good swing by Chris once again, and well played out in left field by Michael Brantley.
Sounded as if Iannetta broke his bat. 2-hit night for Chris.
Strong enough to hit that ball right down the left field line, high off the wall. Again, well played by Brantley. Knowing your home field, knowing that ball is going to come your way off the wall.
So first and third, 1 out. There's John McDonald. McDonald 0 for 1. A fly ball to shallow center. As he swings and drives one out the left. Brantley moving back on it is there. He'll make the catch, tagging. Coming into scores, Ibanez, and we're tied up at 3.
So that's that good situational hitting. John McDonald, the job done. Very popular player on the team. They love watching him in batting practice when he tries to turn on a pitch. He thought he might have got one there for a while, but get the job done. 4th RBI of the season on that sac fly by the Prime Minister.
There's Cole Calhoun. Takes upstairs. And we get a chance to do the game yesterday on Father's Day, but John McDonald lost his dad several years ago. And it was one of those ongoing battles that kind of knew it was inevitable for him. And Johnny Mack was brought up by a coach and an umpire. That's what his dad was his entire adult life, and always taught him to play the game the right way. And he told him as he was getting closer and closer to passing away, I want you to hit a home run for me. And when you do, I want you to cross the plate, point up to the heavens, which is so uncharacteristic from the way Johnny Mack was brought up. Johnny Mack, after coming off the bereavement list with the Toronto Blue Jays at the Rogers Center, ends up coming to the plate,
hits a home run. Of all things, hits a home run, and sure enough, runs the bases, crosses home plate. You can see it very slightly with two hands.
Yeah, he didn't want to show anybody up. That's just the way he is.
Calhoun picks up a single.
When Cole swinging the bat well himself, right back up the middle, forcing Bauer to get out of the way of that line drive. You're right, Johnny Mack, one of the great guys. This plays the game the right way.
It's great to hear John tell the story. First of all, you're asking me to hit a home run. Number two, you're asking me to do something that's not the way I was brought up to play the game. Acquiesced to his dad's wishes. Pretty neat little story. Two on, two out for Mike Trout. 3-3 tie here in the fourth. Breaking ball low. Trout 1 for 2, a strikeout victim of the first, single. Stole 2 bases in the third inning. Was stranded at third base.
Well, he's gearing in on a fastball against Bauer. His last at bat, first pitch got a fastball, fell to straight back. Eventually got a hit against Bauer.
Foul tipped into the mid. 64th pitch of the night for Bauer. 40 even strikes. It's 3 strikeouts, 1 walk. 7 hits allowed. Both times that the Cleveland Indians have put a run on the board, the Angels have answered. Tie game here in the fourth. Fouled off to the right. Trout with a 1-ball, 2-strike count. And had a big lead at second. Calhoun at first. Two balls, 2 strikes.
Here Bauer grunting all the way up here, wanted to go upstairs with a fastball. Trout did not chase. And that pitch count almost similar every inning. Those pitches he's thrown so far was back in the second at 18.
It's an Indians pitching staff currently 11th in the American League as far as staff ERA. Very good bullpen though. 17-8 with a 3.09 ERA. Two now. Jack swing. Joe West says he did not go. He asked for help. And Marty Foster agrees. So a full count. Means the base runners will get a head start here with 2 outs.
See if he went, held up. Trout saying, yeah, I held up on that one.
Here's the payoff. This one's fouled off to the right. All right, nobody broke for that. Swisher or Kataris.
That didn't go that far into the stands. It was right behind the dugout. Bauer started running in.
Swisher kind of gave it a courtesy look.
Bauer's pointing up and he's seeing that no one can see where the baseball was. Just make sure he's going to check it out. Just beyond the dugout.
A quick visit now by Mickey Callaway, the pitching coach.
Almost a discussion on the pitch selection here.
And it's not a disrespect to Albert, but it's the way that Trout's been swinging the bat lately. Say, hey, listen, don't make a mistake here. All of a sudden, you're down by 3. If you walk him, you walk him. You take your chances.
Yeah,
with
you
the
don't
next
have to
guy.
feel real strong about yourself and challenge him with a fastball down the middle of the plate.
Yeah.
Thinking they're going to try a breaking ball here.
So the base runners will take off once again. Tied at 3 here in the 4th. There go the runners. 3-2. It's a breaking ball in the dirt. Nowhere near the strike zone, so they're loaded up for Albert.
Now batting for Los Angeles, the first baseman, Albert Pujols.
Pujols had a great series. He was hitting the ball so well down in Atlanta. He's hit his first at bat. And for a base hit to potentially score 2 runs here.
Bauer from the stretch. Goes with the breaking ball and it catches the strike zone. 0-1. Albert 1 for 2 tonight. Ineta standing at 3rd. Calhoun at 2nd. Trout at 1st. Ground ball, broken bat, roller to Chisenhall. They'll go on to first. And that'll do it for the Angels. So the Halos do manage just 1 run on the sac fly by John McDonald to tie things up as we head to the bottom of the 4th. Scoreboard brought to you by BJ's. Detroit taking on Kansas City. Justin Verlander on the hill. 2-1 Tigers in the 5th. No score in Boston as the Twins start a series there. Tampa Bay leading Baltimore 1-0. Later on the West Coast, Texas at Oakland, San Diego, and Seattle. Here tied at 3. Santana, Chisenhall, and Swisher. Bottom of the 4th inning. A slowly paced game so far. Santana takes upstairs. Indians DH. Fly ball to right field. So he's 0 for 1. One ball, 1 strike. Now Kendrick out of shallow right field. The Angels playing 3 infielders on the right side. Cleveland with 2 runs in the 1st, 1 in the 3rd. 1-2.
2 changeups now, fastball at 85 for Weaver against Santana. Mixing it up.
Two balls, 2 strikes. No strikeouts, 1 walk, 4 hits allowed for Jared. It's fouled back. That's hit high and deep to right. Cole Calhoun will watch this one into the seats, and Cleveland back on top 4-3. Santana his 9th of the year.
Boy, continues to swing the bat well against Weaver, now 10 for 19 with 2 home runs. Change up, it stayed out. Santana all over that change up.
Almost a favor for a 190 hitter. Second home run allowed by Jared, and Cleveland back on top for the seesaw battle here. Chisenhall looks at a strike. Indians third baseman grounded out to Pujols, leading off the second. 1-1. Chisenhall, former first-round pick by the Indians. This one's hooked foul. Off-speed pitch. 1-2. They weren't sure if Chisenhall was going to be ready to kind of take over the everyday third base duties. That's why Santana ended up getting a lot of playing time in spring training in the early parts of the season at third base. Called strike 3. Down goes Chisenhall, and there's the first strikeout of the night for Weaver. 1 down.
You can see why Santana was able to stay back and get the baseball out in front on a changeup. He'll roll the hands over and turn and drive that one out well out to right field. Even though it was a changeup at 76, he stayed back on it, got that bat head out in front of the plate and hooked it. You see him describing it to Cabrera, his swing.
1 out, nobody on for Swisher. That's a curveball for a strike. Swisher 0 for 1, hit a fly ball to Trout in the second. Hero yesterday in extra innings at Fenway Park. And then his throw back to the mound hit the bat of Swisher. One and two.
What good changeup from Weaver on that one at 80.
Called strike 3. Down goes Swisher. 2 outs. Back-to-back strikeouts. Hey folks, now's the perfect time to reserve a suite rental during the season. Suites offer 12 to 36 guests the opportunity to enjoy the game in an intimate, luxurious atmosphere. Suite rentals offer all-inclusive food and non-alcoholic beverage options. To reserve that suite, call 888-796-HALO or log on at angels.com/suites. David Murphy looks at a strike. Murphy, a ground ball to John McDonald in the second.
Well, all of a sudden we were getting aggressive. Swisher on a slider looking.
One ball, two strikes on Murphy. Santana with a leadoff home run to put Cleveland back on top. Murphy out the left. Hamilton back a couple of steps, and his former teammate will make the catch. That'll do it for the Tribe here in the fourth, but they retake the lead. Santana's ninth of the year as we head to the fifth. The Angels down by a run. At FiatUSA.com. By Time Warner Cable. Enjoy better. By the new Fun to Drive 2014 Camry at your Toyota dealer today. We make it easy. And by AT&T, mobilizing your world. Beautiful day here in Cleveland. Angels, however, trail this one 4-3 as we begin at the top of the fifth inning. Mike Aviles takes over in left field. Michael Brantley out of the game. Interesting.
Yeah, hopefully Michael Brantley's okay.
Did not bat in that fourth inning. As a matter of fact, he had the RBI single in the third. If something happened defensively at the top of the fourth, we'll find out. We will certainly pass it along. Hamilton frees Kendrick for the Angels here against Bauer, down by a run. Josh 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts.
He fielded that one ball off the wall by Ionette and then caught the sac fly by John McDonald.
'74th pitch of the night for Bauer. This is a chopper to the right side. Kipnis has it. 2 big hops. 1 down. Bring up David Freese. Angels with a golden opportunity in the fourth inning with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Pujols grounding out. Angels in those situations this year is just, I guess the word for it, dreadful, considering this offense. Angels now 10 for 54 with the bases loaded this season. That includes the Pujols plate appearance. And on the night, 1 for 8 with men in scoring position. As Freese looks at a breaking ball for a strike. David 1 for 2, a single in the second, a ground out in the third. Albert, by the way, hitless in the bases loaded situations this year, 0 for 11 now. Two balls, 1 strike. Halos with 3 runs, 7 hits. They've stranded 6. Cleveland, 4 runs, 5 hits. They've left one man on base, but they've hit 2 home runs. 2-run shot by Cabrera in the first, a solo shot by Santana in the fourth. On the corner, 2-2. Foul back. Guitar is unable to hang on to it. The count remains at 2-2.
Seems like Bauer goes to his curveball to finish off a hitter.
And when he's under control, it's a pretty good curveball.
Try a fastball away here now. And he's pretty firm on a fastball. We see 95 and 96.
Three-2 now. Freeze fouls it back. Kendrick on deck. No Eric Ibar tonight. And the day off. A little hip issue that popped up Saturday night. Played through it. Got a couple of at-bats last night. Then got taken out of the game after 3 innings last night. Breaking ball, and he lost a third walk issued by Bauer. Puts a man on with 1 out here the 5th.
Third walk in the last inning in the 3rd for Bauer.
Matches a strikeout total.
A lot of base runners for the Halos here early on. 3 walks, and you add in 7 hits.
Howie with a single and a run scored in the 2nd, a ground out in the 4th. Chopper off the glove, redirected to Kipnis, flips it to short. Cabrera does get the foot on the bag. Mike Scioscia might come out. And just double check on the fact that Cabrera kept the foot on the bag. Scioscia is out on the warning track right now.
Deflected off the glove of Bauer. He was able to drag his foot on the base. Get the force out. At the top of the base.
So 2 outs and a man at first. Here's Ibanez. 0 for 1. Pop up and a walk. Fouls this one back. No balls and a strike. Halos down 4-3 here in the 5th. Losing 2-3 to the Atlanta Braves. Go back to that mini 2-game sweep the Angels had against the Phillies in Philadelphia. After that game, the Angels 13-8 on the road. As Raul rips one into right center field. That's a base hit. Murphy over to cut it off, does so as Kendrick will head to 3rd. Ball comes to the middle part of the infield. Ibanez thought about going to 2nd, but there's nobody at first base, so he can easily trot back. So 1st and 3rd with 2 outs now, and Chris Iannetta coming up.
Right guy to have coming up, considering how well Iannetta has swung the bat against Bauer in this game so far, but good swing from Ibanez.
We'll just get back to that road issues the Angels have had. Just 4-9 since that point out on the road this year.
And a nice job of getting the bat head out on an off-speed pitch for Raul Ibanez. Hit that ball well to right center field. Level swing. Big opportunity now for the Halos to, at the very least, tie this game. Another conversation out on the mound. Mickey Callaway's going to talk to Trevor Bauer once again.
Iannetta doubled home 2 runs in the second inning and singled off the wall in the fourth.
Basically said, hey, whatever you threw him the first 2 at bats, don't throw those pitches again.
Bauer has not retired the sign in order. As a matter of fact, between the 2 guys, there's only been 1 sign retired in order, and that was Jared Weaver taking care of the Indians on 7 pitches in the second inning. Breaking pitch called to strike. First multi-hit game for Iannetta since he had the 3-hit performance in Houston on June the 5th. He's got Kendrick at third and Ibanez at first. 0-2.
Going through the signs just in case on an 0-2 pitch. Ibanez would be going to try to force a throw and then have Howie try to score himself. A double steal.
Raul takes off. The breaking ball is low. No throw. Raul will pick up a stolen base.
3rd stolen base in 4 attempts for Ibanez.
90th pitch of the night for Bauer. He's thrown 3 straight breaking pitches to Iannetta. Fastball, got him looking. So the Angels will strand 2 more in scoring position. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th. The Angels trail at 4-3. pitches, has 2 strikeouts, 1 walk. He's had his career high as far as runs allowed here in this ballpark with 4. They'll face 9-1-2. Gutierrez, Bourne, and Cabrera. First one to Gutierrez, the catcher. He's in for a strike. He's 0 for 1 today with a ground ball to short.
.73 pitches thrown by Weaver now. Behind the count here, 2-1.
Three balls and a strike. Top of the order, Michael Bourne on deck. It's a full count now. Swing and a miss. Down goes Gutierrez, and that is the first out here at the bottom of the 5th.
Back-to-back off-speed pitches, curveballs for Weaver.
3rd strikeout of the game for Jarrett.
Gutierrez well out in front of that curveball. Couldn't stay back at 70 miles an hour. Back-to-back 70-mile-an-hour curveballs.
Bourne 2 for 2 with a couple of singles. He's also scored twice. No balls and 2 strikes. Weaver not wasting any time. There was a breaking ball in the dirt. 1-2. Ground ball back up the middle. Weaver has it. 2 down.
One of those plays where it almost looked like it found the glove off his body. Ground ball hit well.
A lot of good things can happen though when you bring the glove up.
No question.
Use the leather.
Kept the pitching hand out of the way. We talk about that in the pregame show. Fielding your position once you release the baseball. That was the best baseball that Bourne has hit today. 2 flares for hits and that ground ball up the middle. Field your position.
So Cabrera will bow with 2 outs and nobody on. 2-run home run in the 1st inning, a walk in the 3rd. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Jarrett had a stretch of 7 in a row retired after the Cabrera home run in the 1st inning. He's retired 5 in a row since the Santana home run leading off the 4th. Angels offense has not helped him out tonight. 2 balls, 1 strike. Candles 1 for 9 with men in scoring position tonight and left 8 men on base. 2-1 pitch. Fouled back. Take a big rip at it.
Well, it seemed like he was on that curveball.
Well, it's been up, and the mistakes that Jarrett has made this year, let alone in this game, been up, and you've talked about it a number of times. You make off-speed pitches, mistakes in the upper part of the strike zone become very hittable.
Yeah, at the worst case scenario, you're going to flare wind in the outfield like we've seen Michael Bourne do twice in this game. You can adjust better upstairs on a breaking ball. If you're out front on a breaking ball like that down, if you committed your swing, it's very difficult to make contact. But elevated, you can.
3-2. Burris skies with the center. Trout's there. Weaver has himself a 1-2-3 inning. Second of the game. We will head to the sixth. The Halos have 9-1-2 coming up. Down by a run.
Back and forth in this game. Cabrera, 2-run home run in the bottom of the first, giving Cleveland a 2-0 lead. With the review of the call, Joe West said, yes, it stands. And then Chris Iannetta, 2-run double, ties it up. Second inning, scoring a couple runs. But then Carlos Santana got an all-speed pitch, change up down, drives it out, giving Cleveland back the lead 4-3. And that's where we stand here now, the top of the sixth.
John McDonald, Cole Calhoun, Mike Trout for the Angels here in the sixth inning. '86 pitches for Bauer. Looks like the Cleveland Indians start to get some action going here momentarily. Their bullpen out at right center field. The Angels pen down the right field line. John McDonald tonight 0 for 1. A fly ball to center and had a sac fly in the fourth. 0-2. 4 punch outs, 3 walks for Bauer.
When Bauer's under control, he's got a very good assortment of off-speed pitches to go along with his good fastball. That's a good slider there just on the corner.
Called strike 3. McDonald saw 3 pitches. And there's out number 1 to start this sixth inning. Kyle Crockett, first man up for Cleveland.
Now batting for
Back-to-back strikeouts for Bauer. Got Iannetta looking. Runners in second and third and the fifth. Calhoun singled into center field in the fourth inning. It's 1 for 3. One ball, 1 strike on Calhoun. Trout on deck. Upstairs, 2-1. 2-1 on the way. Underneath the hands. Opens up the count at 2-2. A lot of strikes thrown by Bauer of the 98. He's thrown 62 for strikes. Made some quality pitches when he's needed to. Check swing. Actually looked like Joe West called that a foul ball.
It looked like it bounced and then hit his back.
Another 2-2. Ground ball. Right side. Swisher's got it. Feeds Bauer. 2 down. Folks, the Angels will host the Texas Rangers coming up on Friday at 7:05. Fans in attendance will receive an Angels cowboy hat courtesy of Pechanga Resort and Casino while supplies last. Purchase your tickets today by visiting the Angels Stadium ticket office or by logging on at angels.com. And no truth to the rumor that Joe West wants us to put one aside for him.
He's hoping to be umping one of those games. He'll get one of those hats. Oh, rated that century mark as far as pitches. The most he's thrown in a game, 105. On May 25th.
One ball, no strikes on Trout. 1 for 2 tonight. Strikeout, a single, and a walk. A couple of stolen bases for him.
Well, he's been swinging the bat well. Last 23 games, hit in 22 of them. The only one he didn't, that one game, was they had one at bat and was pulled out of the game in Houston.
Got that average back up to over 300. It's 3 balls, no strikes. Pujols on deck.
Going to give Trout the green light here. See if he can get a fastball and tie it up.
Looks like he was taken. 3-1. And he walked him. So 4th walk of the game, 2nd to Trout. Man on, 2 outs. Pujols coming to the plate. Josh Outman now warming up in the pen. Callaway is going to come out and pay a visit once again.
His 3rd visit.
Mickey taking his time here on this one. Allow Outman an opportunity to get ready. Because this would more than likely be Bauer's last batter regardless. Joe West out to break up the meeting of the minds. Cleveland with 2 runs in the 1st, solo runs in the 3rd and 4th. The Angels with 2 runs in the 2nd and a solo run in the 4th inning. Albert 1 for 3. Infield base hit in the 1st inning. That's the one that went off the glove of Chisenhall to his backhand. Breaking pitch upstairs. Bauer asking Joe West if that pitch was up. Joe nodding in agreement.
You have a young pitcher trying to fight his way through this inning. You have a future Hall of Famer at the plate.
Breaking pitch is a little bit high. 2 balls, no strikes.
He's starting to get frustrated, thinking he's getting the upper part of the strike zone. Season high as far as pitches thrown in the game for Bauer.
They now shift 3 infielders to the left side. Fastball. Caught the corner, 2-1. Shaw with his 8th and 9th stolen bases of the year. That happened in the 3rd inning after a leadoff single. Two balls and 1 strike with 2 outs here in the 6th. Breaking pitch. Albert chases one out of the strike zone. 2-2 now.
One of those hanging breaking balls as a hitter, you expand your zone, but that was way too high for Albert to make contact with.
Bauer set. 2-2 on the way. Breaking pitch. Got him looking. So Albert goes down for the 3rd out here in the 6th inning. We'll head to the bottom of the inning. Cleveland still leads it.
Day to this game of baseball, whether it was on the practice field or whether it was signing autographs or whether it was helping helping his team win a game. He was totally devoted to it. He was all in on everything he did in the game of baseball. And I think it's an example for all of us.
Mike Scioscia talking about the passing of Tony Gwynn as we learned this morning. The Hall of Famer's passing at the age of 54.
Boy, is it still hard to think of that. Just a great person. Not only we can talk about his baseball skills and what he did as far as getting into the Hall of Fame, but as a person, Tony Gwynn is an amazing man. Great husband, great father. Everybody had many opportunities to talk with him and went on a couple of trips with him before. Had a blast with him.
Jared Weaver back to work here. 3, 4, and 5 of Avila's, Kipnis, and Santana. Avila's first plate appearance for him tonight. He took over defensively for Michael Brantley. No word as to why Brantley was taken out of the game. Avila's a .260 average, 51 games so far. 3 home runs, 21 runs batted in. Shoots this one foul. Brantley apparently been taken out of the game after a blow to the head, neck area, sliding into second base in the 3rd inning.
0-2 to Aviles. Takes inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 5 hits for Cleveland, 2 home runs, 3 strikeouts for Weaver, 1 walk. And he swings and misses on the off-speed pitch, and there's out number 1. Go back and revisit the Hyundai key to the game.
Well, you can just even tell in that conversation from Mike Socia, the baseball family, we're a family. When someone is passionate about the game passes away like Tony Gwynn, you can feel that amongst not only the Angels but the Cleveland Indians also. Difficult, especially after Bob Welch. 2 very competitive players gone so way too early.
Two balls and no strikes, or pardon me, 1 ball, 1 strike on Kipnis. First one we called a strike. Kipnis 0 for 2. Flat and left and a double play ball in the 3rd. Which one I would imagine is where Brantley got hurt. This one lifted down a left field line. Long run for Freese and John McDonald, as well as Josh Hamilton. Nobody can get to it. 1-2. All 3 guys had a long way to go. Short time to get there. Weaver back to work, about to throw his 94th pitch of the night.
Weaver being a veteran is going to take his time to get back there and look over to make sure John McDonald, David Freese, and Josh Hamilton are ready to go now after that long run.
Count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes.
One of those elevated off-speed pitches is able to make contact with.
Two balls, 2 strikes. You figure Bauer is done after his 6 innings. The Angels have Hamilton, Freese, and Kendrick due up in the 7th. 6 strikeouts for Bauer. 4 looking. Just fouls off the fastball. Jared on the other side has retired 7 in a row. Since giving up that leadoff home run to Santana, who was on deck. It is pulled right to Howie Kendrick. 2 down.
And difference in the game. Look at our AT&T first rewind. We mentioned Carlos Santana. And that bat head out on a changeup. But Weaver hits that well out to right field. The difference in the game right now, 4-3 as Cleveland leads here with 2 outs now in the bottom of the 6th.
Oh, 1 count on Santana. 1 for 2 with that home run. Well, Santana backed out. Now time is called. Weaver stopped his motion. Joe West was let it play out. Santana just backed down. Joe never granted time.
Just walked out. And once Weaver stops his delivery, can't throw the baseball at that point.
Lifted in the air. Down the left field line. David Freese gives way to Josh Hamilton. A 1-2-3 inning for Weaver. 6 in the books here. Progressive Field. Still 4-3 Indians. 7th inning. Now it's time for the AT&T fan photo of the game. Remember to tweet us your photos using hashtag WestFanPhoto, and your photo could be used in an upcoming game broadcast. Yosemite Hamilton. We appreciate your submission. Send us a tweet. Hashtag WestFanPhoto could be used in a future broadcast. Trevor Bauer back out on the mound. He's throwing 110 pitches. That's a new career high for him. 5 more than he has done 2 previous occasions. Did it for the first time last year, April 6th against Tampa Bay, and this year as well at Baltimore on May 25th.
Kind of surprised myself that he's still back out here for the game. Terry Francona trying to stretch him out. See if he has enough in him to be able to finish off this inning, especially with a couple right-handed bats on deck.
Hamilton, Freese, and Kendrick. The Angels here in the 7th. Josh 0 for 3 tonight against Bauer. First ever appearance in a big league game for Bauer against the Angels as Josh fouls off the first offering. It's no balls and a strike. 8 hits tonight for the Angels. They've left 9 on base. Carlos Carrasco is ready to go. He was loosening in the 6th inning. One ball, one strike. It's turned into a very pleasant night here as far as temperature is concerned. Warm and muggy during the afternoon hours. Two balls, one strike.
And more likely,
really thrown inside on Hamilton tonight.
Yeah, and the more pitches you throw, you're more apt to make a mistake. Now, in 113 pitches thrown for Bauer. I know he's had success so far in this game against Hamilton. A couple punch outs and a ground out. But you better not make a mistake.
Shoffley hit over to first, or sorry, second, pardon me. Kipnis backs up on him, throws to first. Out number 1. So 1 out. Hamilton 0 for 4 tonight. We'll bring up David Freese, the third baseman. Been on board twice with a single and a walk. He's also grounded out. The Angels have some action going in their bullpen as well. Michael Morin begins to play catch. Michael. Two balls, no strikes.
Still has pretty good life on the fastball at 95. And he's always conditioned himself well to be able to throw this amount of pitches in a game.
2-1 now.
That's fastball 97. Lowest curveball at 73. Very good differential. 24-mile-an-hour differential for him.
Overthrew that fastball. It's 3-1. Much more under control than what we saw in spring training. Three-one to Freese. He laces this one right to short. 2 down. Well squared up by David Freese. Nothing to show for it.
Well, that would have been interesting if it got by Cabrera. That might have got all the way to the wall. Was hit that hard.
For the Angels, now stepping to the plate, number 47,
And that might be his last batter. Terry Francona is going to go to the bullpen, and Trevor Bauer is done here after 6 2/3.
And that ball was hit as hard as you could hit a baseball.
23-year-old youngster will get a nice round of applause here as he departs the Progressive Field mound with Cleveland leading at 4-3. Trevor Power is removed from the game after 110 pitches. 72 for strikes. Did a nice job tonight, and went in trouble, limited the damage. The Angels, if you look at the situational hitting for the Halos, not just the Angels' struggles, that had to do something with Trevor Bauer on the mound.
Yeah, he threw a very good assortment of curveball, slider, changeup combination, and occasional split finger fastball. Now to deal with Carlos Carrasco. Fastball firm, 92-97. Slider, curveball, changeup.
I misspoke, 119 pitches for Bauer. As Carrasco delivers a strike to Howie Kendrick. Howie 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored. Carrasco 1 and 3, pitching in his 17th game, has 4 starts, a 4.64 ERA. Swing and a miss on the slider. It's 0-2. But much like yesterday's game, it's like deja vu all over again. A lot of hits early on, and able to really capitalize on them. One and two. Swing and a miss. Down goes Kendrick, and the Angels go down in order here in the 7th. We'll head to the bottom of the 7th. The Angels still down by a run. Jared Weaver's done after 6 innings. Mike Morin takes over on the mound. And he'll be facing Chisenhall, Swisher, and Murphy. 6, 7, and 8 for the Tribe.
Yeah, he's been very effective. This will be his 21st game. Very good ERA, 1.27. His batting average only 197. Spots his fastball well, but his go-to pitch is his changeup, both the righties and lefties.
Slider starting to develop as well at the major league level. Jared Weaver finishes the night going 6 innings, 4 runs all earned, 5 hits including 2 home runs, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk. And ended up finishing up by retiring the last 9 consecutive batters after giving up the go-ahead home run to Carlos Santana. Lonnie Chisenhall, the third baseman, will come to the plate. Lead things off. He's 0 for 2. A ground out in the 2nd, struck out looking in the 4th. The 2nd time this year that Jared Weaver has allowed 4 or more earned runs in back-to-back starts. This one's out to left. Hit where to well. Hamilton moving back on it. Makes a catch on the track for the first down.
Good read by Hamilton. Hit well by Chisenhall, but Hamilton was able to track it back on the warning track and make the play.
So 1 pitch, 1 out to start the 7th. Nick Swisher coming up. Oh for 2 tonight. Pushes the bunt back to the mound. He saw the shift on, and Morin will flip it underhand to Swisher, or pardon me, to Pujols to retire Swisher for out number 2. Hey folks, on June 25th, celebrate halfway to Christmas when the Angels take on the Twins at 7:05. Folks in attendance will attempt to set another Angels Guinness World Record wearing Santa hats, courtesy of Yokohama Tire. Get your tickets today at the Angel Stadium ticket office or by logging on at angels.com.
I'm really looking forward to that one.
Yes, you are. David Murphy will come to the plate.
Visited the house yesterday for the movie The Christmas Story.
Pretty good movie. It's classic.
Oh, yeah.
Murphy a ground down to fly ball to left. Two balls and no strikes. But the immaculate inning is 9 pitches, 3 strikeouts. What would have been a 3-pitch inning?
Well, that's called free dinner for the pitcher. Get a 3-pitch complete inning there. Got 2 outs on 2 pitches. You knew Murphy was not hacking.
3 balls and no strikes on Murphy. Kataris, the catcher, on deck. And a 4-pitch walk. Roll 2 out, let down. We'll bring up Kataris. But there's got to be a name for that. I mean, it's pretty cool to have 3 strikeouts on 9 pitches. You get 3 outs on 3 pitches? What's better than immaculate?
That's beyond that. We're getting 3 outs on 3 pitches? No doubt. Who cares how you get it out? 1 pitch outs? They're a thing of beauty.
Platinum immaculate? Now he's missed out of the strike zone on 5. So Iannetta will go out and talk things over. Maybe he was thinking about that free steak dinner.
Yes.
Mike's done a nice job for the Angels since coming to the big leagues. Made some big pitches in Saturday night's game in Atlanta. It was the extra inning affair, which the Angels won.
And really big pitches in that game. If he hadn't, Atlanta would have came all the way back and won that one.
Bunt on the third base side. That's an infield base hit. So Kataris with 2 outs. The man at first base takes the infield knock.
You can't bunt any better. Right down the line, you have to field that baseball.
Doesn't even have to be a good bunt.
Anything down that side of the field. Nice job of leveling the bat. He's playing catch with the baseball bat. The baseball right down the line. They're going to give it to you. It's a base hit. It allows Murphy to get into scoring position.
And be able to get a big lead with 2 outs. Bourne takes upstairs. Bourne 2 for 3, a couple of singles and a bouncer back to the mound. Another conversation for Chris Iannetta and Mike Moore. Good breaking ball there, and it's 1-1. Good off speed.
Boy, that changeup was devastating. That's 72-mile-an-hour changeup. Looks like a fastball, but then the bottom drops. Changeup to lefties will run down and away against the lefty. Changeup to a righty will cut away and down.
Now the 1-2. Warren takes just a little bit low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Murphy at second base. Kataris at first. The Angels in the top of the 8th inning have a bind design that McDonald due up. Warren trying to keep it a 4-3 deficit. Retired the first 2 guys on 2 pitches, then a 4-pitch walk to Murphy. Kataris. Bunt base hit with the overshift on up the third base line. Two out to shallow right field. Long run for Cole Calhoun. He's there. 7 complete here. Cleveland Indians still lead at 4-3.
Three here in the top of the 8th. Ibanez will be leading off for the Halos. Carlos Carrasco still in the game for Cleveland. Good fastball, very good changeup. You'll see that more often against a left-handed batter here. Good job by Michael Moore to be able to limit base runners. Got through there without any damage done.
Carrasco stays in the game after striking out Howie Kendrick to finish off the 7th. Ibanez on Etta McDonald for the Halos. Roll 1 for 2 with a pop-up, a walk, and a single. One ball, 1 strike. Angels going down in order in the 7th inning for the first time tonight as Dane De La Rosa gets ready. Two balls, 1 strike. Last hit for the Angels. It was the 5th inning single by Raul. At that point, the runners at first and third with 2 outs.
Interesting to see what happens here in this inning. John McDonald's spot comes up third in the order, depending on what's going on in the game. We still have C.J. Cron available.
Joe West and Terry Francona having a conversation. I wonder, the way Joe was pointing at it, maybe the signage on the wall in left field was perhaps moving or changing over. Electrical scoreboard out in left field. I thought at first, the way he was carrying the baseball over there, that he saw something and wanted to kind of warn Francona. 3 balls and a strike.
We get back to with John McDonald too. The fact is, you still have C.J. Cron available, and Eric Ibar had said he wanted to play in the game anyhow, so he is definitely available if Mike Scioscia decides to go that route, depending on if there's runners on.
3-1 pitch. Raul works the walk, his second of the game. The Angels have the tying run on board. Angels baseball brought to you by the UPS Store, your one-stop shop for your small business needs. And by Mercury Insurance. Get a fast free quote at mercuryinsurance.com today to see how much you can save. Chris Iannetta, 2 for 3 night. Double and a single, 2 runs batted in. But Chris had made up his mind. He was hacking.
He was hoping and looking for a first pitch fastball. Got a breaking ball instead.
2 hits tonight, raising his overall average to 263. Carrasco will give up some hits. I mean, you just look at his overall numbers. 42 and 2/3 innings, 40 hits allowed. 252 batting average against. He'll pick up some strikeouts as well. Two and one.
Well, he wanted that fastball on the outside corner. He thought he hit his spot.
Carrasco coming over from the Philadelphia Phillies as part of that Cliff Lee deal back in 2009. Caught the inside corner to even the count. Two now. Ibanez takes off, and Iannetta swing and a miss. Throw down to second, and out at second base. Ibanez doesn't like the call, and Scioscia will come out and argue. Might even ask for a replay here.
And you wonder if Ibanez got the foot in and a big jump. Certainly got a big jump.
Rob Drake, the second base umpire, making the call.
Quick catch and throw. Tag was on the back foot, but the foot was in the air. Able to make contact with the base first.
So 2 outs, bases clear. Scioscia heads back to the dugout. John McDonald will be called back. Derek Ibar will pinch hit here. The Angels taking a gamble with Ibanez running there. And Ibar will bat here with 2 outs and nobody on. Eric, a .290 batting average. 5 home runs, 37 runs batted in, also 17 doubles and 3 triples. .313 batting average from the left side. First one in there for a strike. Ibar last night had 2 plate appearances. Home run and a fielder's choice. This is pulled through the right side, and it's a base hit for Eric.
Boy, he continues to swing the bat so well. And Cole Calhoun an opportunity with a runner on. Pitch down. He's got that bat head down and drove it through the hole between first and second.
9th hit of the night for the Angels. Calhoun tonight 1 for 4. Single back in the 4th inning. Indians with a 9-game winning streak here at home. Coming off a 5-5 road trip. Big lead for Ibar at first. Off speed, outside. 1 ball, no strikes. 5 stolen bases for Ibar. He's been caught 4 times. Foul back. He tried to wait as long as possible on that off-speed pitch.
Yeah, he did. He tried to. He's looking for something down that he can drive. 80-mile-an-hour curveball.
1-1 pitch. Bounce it. 1-2.
He's on the curveball followed up with a slider.
Lays off. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
He came back with another hard slider.
Ibar over at first, a 2-out single. Pinch hit single for him. He takes off. 2-2 is a swing and a miss. And down goes Calhoun as the Angels are done here in the 8th. We'll head to the bottom of the inning. Still 4-3 Cleveland. The pitching matchups for the rest of this 4-game series. Matt Shoemaker on the hill tomorrow. He'll be going up against Josh Tomlin. Justin Masterson, C.J. Wilson on Wednesday night. Then Thursday, little breakfast with the Angels here from Cleveland. Zach McAllister will be off the disabled list at that point. He'll be going up against Garrett Richards. There in the bottom of the 8th inning, Dane De La Rosa takes over on the mound, pitching in his 2nd consecutive game. Last night, his first since April 12th. Ended up going 1 inning, gave up a run on 2 hits, and 1 intentional walk. He'll face 2, 3, and 4, Cabrera, Aviles, and Kipnis. Eric Ibar stays in the game, and he's at shortstop. Michael Moore in 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 walk. Scoreless 7th. One ball, no strikes on his dribble. Cabrera, 1 for 2. 2-run home run in the first off Weaver, a walk in the third, and a fly ball to center. Two balls, no strikes.
The key to always look for Dane De La Rosa is the velocity on the fastball. Mark Lowe's getting ready in the bullpen for Cleveland.
Mark Lowe called up today. And Dane falls behind promptly at 3 balls and no strikes. But you really got to keep it here. 1-run deficit. Cody Allen not available.
Well, you got your tough part of the order coming up too for the Halos, with starting with Trout to lead off the inning.
4-pitch walk. Leadoff man on board. Mike Aviles coming to the plate. He took over for Brantley. This is a look back to what happened to Brantley in a double play situation.
Well, he got the knee right to the head. He was trying to break up a double play.
Dane had some struggles while rehabbing down at AAA.
He's so important to the bullpen last year. Dating back to where he was last season, a valuable part of the bullpen. But for him, on the mental side of it, just to be able to get that velocity and locate his fastball.
16 games at Salt Lake, 1-1 record and a 4.11 ERA. Facing Aviles, 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Tried to bunt his way on, snapped her to first, and Albert was not anticipating a throw from Chris Iannetta, so Cabrera easily gets back.
Boy, it looked like it had a play on him also.
Yep.
A quick throw by Iannetta. And Albert turned the other way. He turns back the other way, maybe first on the tag, close play. A quick throw from Iannetta was 1 pickoff this season.
Aviles again squares around, pushes a bunt on the first base side. De La Rosa fields it, bobbles it, fields it again, throws out Aviles. Sack bunt. Cabrera to second.
It looked like Dane was thinking about running over to make it a tag, and then the ball falls out of his glove. A nice job as far as getting off the mound quickly. Enough to be able to recover it in enough time to get it out at first.
Here's Kipnis, 0 for 3 tonight. A nice play by Annette on a ball that was in the dirt. 1 strike. Dane last year 75 games for the Angels. Set a new franchise record by a rookie. 6-1 and a 2.86 ERA. This year dealing with the residual effect of that. 1-1. Kept this little tapper back to the mound. 2 outs. Cabrera over to third now.
Well played by Dane on that little slow roller back to the mound.
Santana 1 for 3 with a home run. Takes up and away. Angels in the 9th. We'll have Trout, Pujols, and Hamilton, and it looks like Mark Lowe will come into the ball game. Or perhaps not. Lowe was warming up. Two balls, no strikes.
Carrasco's a guy that can give you some multiple innings. Has been a starter before in his career.
Two and one. Cabrera standing over at third base. Leadoff walk for him. Santana hits one back off the leg. Picks it up. Fires to first. And he got him. Hopefully Dane is all right.
It's fielding your position. All 3 outs by Dane De La Rosa.
It keeps it a 1-run deficit as we head to the 9th. Angeles Angels and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP. We begin the 9th with the Angels trailing at 4-3 here at Progressive Field. The Angels have out-hit the Cleveland Indians and have stranded 10 base runners, going 1 for 9 with men in scoring position. And Carlos Carrasco, who came in with 2 outs in the 7th, remains in the ballgame. Stick around after the last down. We will break it all down for you, win or lose, with Angels Live postgame presented by your SoCal Mazda dealers.
Well, if it's the right part of the order, for sure you want up if you're an Angel fan watching at home. Mike Trout leading it off.
Trout tonight 1 for 2. Single with a couple of walks. First pitch downstairs. Trout, Pujols, and Hamilton here in the ninth for the Angels. That evens up the count. Fastball at 96. Lays off the slider.
Carrasco's never had a major league save. Different times for him here. Ninth inning, always difficult.
Two one on the way. And the breaking ball. Evens up the count at 2-2. Josh Alman up for the third time tonight. Scott Atchison, the veteran right-hander. 2-2 now. This is sharply hit to second, though. Kipnis has it. One down.
Oh, another baseball was hit extremely hard in an infielder.
So 1 out, nobody on for Albert. It's at a 1 for 4 game. Angels have not had a man in scoring position for the last 3+ innings. Oh, and 1. Came right after him with a 97-mile-per-hour fastball. With a flare out to left center. Aviles is there. 2 down.
97-mile-an-hour fastball for another slider. Got him out in front.
So the Angels down to the last out, in jeopardy of dropping the first 3 of 4 on this road trip. The struggles out of the road continue. Loss tonight would drop them a game under 500 for the season out of the road. Here's Hamilton. 0 for 4 tonight. Takes outside. All 4 of those plate appearances for Josh coming against Trevor Bauer, who went 6 2/3 tonight, gave up 3 runs on 8 hits. Jared Weaver 4 runs in 6 innings. Hamilton not fully committed to that swing. He went up the count at 1-1. Fooled him with a slider.
Another slider.
There's the 1-2. Hamilton a swing and a miss. The Angels go down in order here, the 9th, and lose the first one tonight of this 4-game series. 4-3 the final.
And Trevor Bauer picks up the win. Carlos Santana, that solo shot was a difference maker as Cleveland wins as a 4-3. Carlos Carrasco gets his first major league save. 4 punchouts in 2 1/3 innings pitched for him. The ball very well.
Allowed just 1 hit, 1 walk, and he closes it out for the Cleveland Indians, who now make it 10 in a row here at home. The Angels dropped this one. Final 4-3, now 37-32 on the season. Stick around as we'll break it down for you with Angels Live postgame. That's coming up next.